Yo! Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Urban Frontlines. Today we've got Jeb playing 2nd Panzergren, and he's going up against Pandapoots playing 8th US Infantry. So we'll talk about the decks, and then the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for Pandapoot. He's playing 8th US. 8th US, not a particularly amazing div, really. I don't know what else to say. Um, it doesn't really have the cost efficiency that it used to. Its infantry is not as good as it used to be. The M1A ones are, you know, very expensive. The M60s are more reasonably priced now, and you get a lot of those. But you don't get IFVs, and it's all about the auto cannons. I mean, yeah, you get some Scout Bradleys. It's a tough div to play, really. Dragons got nerfed. Mech Rifles got nerfed. Yeah, I mean... So it has had some buffs, like the Mech Rifles and the Mech Rifles Dragon and Law, they came down by some points, and the M60s came down by some points and got higher availabilities, and the F-16Cs came down, so it can work. You know, in team games it's really good, because you just kind of buy Abrams and artillery and Nighthawks and do your thing, but in 1v1 it's very difficult to get right. You don't really have a lot of momentum. It's a very, very slow div. You just kind of sit there and buy Abrams and then try and push. I don't know. I mean, I've played it a lot and I just kept losing. I guess I just don't get it. So we'll go through it tab by tab, right? So first thing, 3 cards of supply. Yeah, this is the sort of div that is always fighting a 40-minute game. Got 2 heavy arty pieces. You've got, you know, lots of heavy tanks, lots of tanks. So yeah, 3 cards of supply makes a lot of sense. In terms of the supplies, we've got, you know, the M35 supply, which is wheeled. We've got the Hempt, which is also wheeled, and it's like a heavy supply, right? And then the supply helos. So I personally bring, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but basically this is your frontline supply. This is like your heavy supply for less dangerous zones, and this is your helo supply. These two kind of have overlapping roles, right? So this is kind of hard to use in 1v1s because there's not really anywhere to put it. You land it and then Artie hits it, whereas this can get into position without getting spotted. But, you know, you get 6 of them. If you're doing some cool ranger attack thing, it can... And he's also got... Yeah, okay. So having a helo supply makes a lot of sense if you're doing something like this. In terms of the CVs, so this is 2 availability and 40 points. This is 2 availability and 75 points. And this is 3 availability and 80 points. So infantry tab, yeah, Rangers, 6 men, smoke, recoilless rifle, sniper rifle. Like it's not a bad squad. So that's 11 men, no smoke, no AT, right? And then this is 6 men, no. Well, actually, it's got AT and it's got smoke. So what's the difference in price here? So 25 points. I mean. So I assume the reason he's brought this one is because he wants to do a heli attack, which used to be a standard kind of 8th opener. It doesn't really work, to tell you the truth. I don't really think it's a good idea. I'm sorry, I don't have my conviction is lacking, I suppose. I haven't tried it that much. I've played the div a lot. I could just never get it to work. I personally think this is not a good idea. And I'd be bringing like this in the car. You like one helo infantry is always useful, but the way I play inf 8th inf is to play it really slow, and so doing a big heli attack is not conducive to that. So I'd be tempted to swap out you know, so it's still like Rangers are good and Rangers Dragon are good, but I'd bring 1 in the car, whichever one you want, it doesn't really matter. And then, you know, this I just wouldn't bother with really. 55 points for 9 men with M60s, whereas this is 50 for 9 men with, you know, 2 machine guns anyway. Also, the M60 is worse than the M240 Bravo. The M60 is the worst 7.62 belt fed in the game, and all the others are the same. So yeah, I don't know about that. I'd be bringing the MP Patrol M67. Then, 40-minute game. 40 minutes. Sorry, I have to cut this in. Right, sorry about that very rare hippie edit there. So basically, 8th US 40-minute game. You want your infantry down vetted, I think. It used to be kind of meta to bring them in these M113A3s and use them as fire support. These days, I'm a bit less sure, to be honest. It can work. I mean, the map's Urban Frontlines. Obviously, you don't know what map you're going for when you get in. I wish I could be more helpful. Whenever I play this div, I just lose. And so it... So I've come to the conclusion it's just kind of a bad div. Like, so for 5 points more, you can get a BWP one, which has 3 armor, a Grom, and a Malyutka, and a PKT, right? And better optics. So I don't really think this is worth bringing. So maybe it is worth bringing them in the trucks. And then it's like, well, then what do I do for fire support? I don't know. You bring a CEV, I guess. So you can try bringing CEVs, or you can use your tanks. But yeah, I used to bring them in the M113A3, but it used to have like 3 armor and stuff, and I don't know, it's just not very useful. So you can do it either way, I suppose. But yeah, I wouldn't be too vetting these simply because you're really gonna struggle in the late game, and this division's all about the late game. How many mech rifles Dragon? How many mech rifles Law? It's up to you. I personally don't think the dragons are that useful anymore, but you can use them in forests anyway, right? And so for 10 points more, you basically get an 18-pen launcher, right? So it can be worth it. And then engineers, I think, are a must-bring with the satchels at 1 vet. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And then toes in the... So these have actually been brought in the tracked one, which that is not what I would do. If you want the tracked guys, then bring this in the tracked one. Excuse me, or this one, right? These should be in the wheeled one, really, so you can bring them as fast as possible. In terms of, like, do you need 7 toes? You don't have any ATGMs here, so yeah, okay, I guess it can work. Artillery, I really like these. These are very good. So yeah, I bring 2 of these and mortars for smoke. Self-propel mortars are better than towed mortars. Tank tab, so... M1 tank CV, yeah, and then M1A ones, 5 of them. First one out is going to be 2 vet, yeah, that's very normal. And then 10 M60s. So these are better than they were in that they're cheaper. They are basically, like, if you go up against T-72s, which are only a little bit more expensive, you just get absolutely eviscerated. But it's not a bad tank, and you can buy 2 in a minute. So having 10 of those can work. You can also try having like 4 base M1 Abrams, which is, it is better, but it's 70 points more. The M60 can survive a TOW 2 hit. And then you've got the CV, which is, this is your anti-infantry. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted. This is your anti-infantry, right? So we were speaking about how do I kill infantry? This is how you kill infantry. But it's not very good. So if you could buy an IFV, you would buy an IFV. So on first UK, you just get a Warrior, you don't need it. On third, you just get a Bradley, you don't need it. 24th, you just get a Bradley, you don't need it. On 11th ACAV, you just get a Marder, you don't need it. But here, how do you kill the infantry? So it might be worth bringing 6 CVs or even 4 CV. 4 is probably better because it doesn't have smoke. It's going to get hit by the enemy thing, and then you're going to try and get it out of there, and it's just going to die because you can't smoke it. So you want it at 1 vet so it might survive. So if you find that you're finding it basically impossible to kill enemy infantry with this division, because infantry doesn't kill infantry. It's really weird. I mean, it does, but just not as fast as anything else. Like, you've not got any grenade launchers. right? These guys are pretty decent at it, but it's by the by, really. Um, and yeah, what can I say? You can try this instead of 5 M60s because that's a lot of M60s. And then, like, so you want to buy some of these and then swap into the M1A ones, and this can work at one vet. So yeah, if you find you can't kill infantry, I mean, it's more of a suggestion, right? If you find that you can't kill enemy infantry, swap out your M60s for one card of M60s for one card of CEVs at one vet and just see how you get on. Recon, so LRS have airborne forward deployment and they come in 100 kilometers an hour vehicle, so that's great for your opener. Then the scouts, they don't have AT, but you don't really have many other. We don't have any other options, right? Snipers don't have AT. The ACAV is kind of overpriced. It used to be good, but it is overpriced. 55 points for that. I mean, it's nice if it hits people, but it generally doesn't, right? So yeah, I can understand just bringing it in the Scout 50 cal. Then we've got the Bradley, the Recon Bradley. This thing's great. You bring it at no vet because, if it gets hit, if there's an ATGM coming towards you, like, you don't need suppression resistance. You need to smoke and leave because it costs 120 points and you just can't take that chance. So yeah, I bring it at no vet and just don't have it get shot at. Leave it, near the back with the mediocre stealth and the toe-twos. You can also put it with your M1A ones to give them very good optics. Then a recon helo. Sadly, miniguns were just like massively nerfed in the last patch for just seemingly no reason. I've seen people bring this. I think I'm a this bringer. But basically, you have to do some crazy opener where you open with one of these and one or two F-16s, and then you try and use this to snipe the enemy deployment coming in. Or the A10, right? It can work, but it is very high risk. And if it dies, then, you just commit Sudoku because it costs 3 times more than this one. So, it's just an idea, right? Like I said, I lose a lot on this division. AA, so this is very normal. Ihawk, Stinger, we've got Chaparrals here. Chaparrals you don't really need, so Ihawk is for long-range AA. Stingers are for enemy helicopters, and Chaparrals is like your Apache dueler, I guess, but the idea is you can get the Stingers in quite far. 8 Stingers is a lot. In fact, because I mean, if it was like 9-6, then 6 is fine, but 5 Stingers isn't that much. I consider swapping this out for Pivads and at one vet, and the idea is that the Pivad shoots the infantry, because it is very, very, very good at doing that. So if you need to kill infantry, right, you could swap out the Chappie for the Pivads. If you lose all 3 of your Ihawks, you're gonna have a bad time. But you just move them after they shoot. You shouldn't have that problem. And you've got 4 fighters, so yeah, Pivads for anti-infantry, and then maybe you don't need the CVs because they have the same role, which is glass cannon anti-infantry. Obviously, this can take a hit, but it's got no smoke. Helos, so 1 card of Toe Cobra for the Ito, and 1 card of Cobras for the, shooting rockets at people. Then we've got the F-16, which has, Sparrows and AIM-9s. And we've got the F-16, which has Sparrows and AIM-9s. It's good now that it's 220 points. It used to be like 245, and it was just ridiculous. So yeah, it's good for the price. It's not as good as a MiG-29 for the same price, but it's got 10% more ECM, but the missiles are worse. And then the A10, which is, if you can get an opportunity to use it, is very decent. So there's a way you can play this div where you just kind of air spam around the Wild Weasel, but frankly, this is not a very good seed missile. So yeah, the A10, use sparingly, only use against enemy armored breakthroughs, don't be hasty with it. So that's how it can be done. My own 8th deck, I've not touched it in a long time, right? But the idea was, I'm pretty sure I built it a bit more around air spam. I didn't bother with the M60s because it's before they changed. So there's a lot of things that I need to change on this, so it's just not worth looking at. Like, the CS is terrible, don't bother with that. Switching to his opponent's deck review, we've got Jeb, and he's playing second Panzergren. Second Panzergren is so much better than 8th, it's unreal. It does exactly the same things 8th does, except you also get autocannons. So, well, what's the point in... you get it's 8th with Marder 1A3 Milans, right? And better infantry AT. I mean, what's not to like? So, yeah, it's just better, basically. 3 cards of supply, very normal, because long game with your arty and your heavy tanks, always a long game with second Panzergren, so that's all normal. 3 CVs, so you can either bring the wheeled one for wheelie CV ability, right, so 3, 4, 5. So he's actually only got 5 CVs, which is the bare minimum, really. So yeah, you need the 3 availability one. And given that this is a tracked one, then yeah, you can bring a wheeled one so that you're not too far behind. It's interesting he's not got the forward deployed CV in here. But, you know, that's by the by, really. It can be useful. And then, yeah, 3 cards of supply. So lorries for supplying. Cars for supplying. You know, you don't really need this, right? So I prefer two Unimogs because these are just so, if they die, who cares? But do you really want 24 Unimogs flying around? Maybe it is better to do this. Or driving around. Infantry, so FS Jaeger, so this is for the opener. Sadly, they go at 90. So the idea is that these guys go at 100. I don't agree with 2-vet on this. I don't really see the point of it. It's only a 4-man squad, right? So you don't, I mean, what, the increased combat capability of the 4-man squad? I don't know, man. But he does have a lot of recon. A lot of this is upvetted, which I don't think is a good idea, really. So yeah, I personally would downvet this and then downvet this and this and this and this and this. Pioneer Carl Gustav is a nice squad for fighting in towns and stuff. And I bring it in the Fox as well. Marder 1A3 Milan, yeah. It's like, so you can like save 10 points and lose 1 armor so that you can buy 3 in a minute or whatever. It's really not worth doing that. For the sake of 5 points, you get to survive a Dragon 2. You get to survive a Bastion 18 AP missile. You know, that's a big deal. There's a lot of 18 AP things. The Dragon 2 and the Bastion are the main ones. Then, yeah, so 4 cards of Panzergrenadier in the Marder 1A3 Milan. And then the Pioneer Flam is honestly awful. The Hand Flam Patron is worse than an RPO. It's worse than a Flash. It's worse than all that. So I'd be swapping that out for regular satchels. And then the M40A1, which I don't really think is a good idea, to tell you the truth. I think this is very bad. So what you can do, right, get this, right, so 6, 8, 12, what? 6, 12, 18, 24, right? Which is, that's a lot, actually. So you can, I'd just get more planes, honestly. But yeah, you could bring more Marder 1A3 Milans and like start vetting them and stuff or whatever. But yeah, it's just not, I mean, it's 3 AP for that. It's not really worth it. Arty, so we've got the big boys, right? Same as 8th, it's literally the same. Then, like, this is massive overkill on the Arty, but it's because it's a 1-point slot, that's why he's done that. So, yeah, and then self-propelled mortars for smoke. Very, very useful. Tank tab, so the standard is to bring 6 Leopard 2A3s all at 1 vet like that. And then, yeah, Carter Leopard 1A5s, Carter Leopard 1A1, A1s, and a card of Jaguar 2s. I've seen some people mentioning no names. There's somebody who plays second Panzergren a lot on this channel. And I've seen them bring just 2 cards of Leopard 1A5s. Recon tab. I'm just trying to think, because now there's 4 AP, right? So, it's looking like that's going to have to be there. Yeah, it is. At which point, what I'd be doing, unironically, is upvetting the smoke mortars. so that the first one out is at 2 vet and the other ones are at 1 vet, so you've still got 3. That's what I'd be doing in that case. Because this is very, very useful for smoking, and you can use it to hurt people. If you've bought 4 artillery pieces, you're probably gonna lose. So that's a bit. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, roughly, right, 3.5 minutes income just on arty. So I don't really think it's a good idea. So yeah, I mean, if this works for you, great. And then, so recon, so yeah, there's a lot of recon here. So Scimitar and Lux have very, very similar roles, so the Racist gives your tanks exceptional optics. The Lux can be used to go around and shoot people in the opener and so on, and gives your tanks very good optics. The Scimitar can be used to go around and shoot people a bit slower than the Lux, but with a slightly better gun, but has worse optics. So I think you should get rid of the Scimitar. And the Racist, honestly, and just use the Lux. But a Recon Helo is always very, very useful, so that could go here. And you could have Recon Helos. I think that's more useful than having, 4 more Scimitars or whatever. AA, Eyehawk, Gepard, Fliegerfaust is very, very normal, and you'll notice the Gepards upvetted, because, yeah, you don't need 6 of those. 6, yeah, so what you can do... So you can have 4 Scimitars, yeah, or you can have 6 of these, which are hilariously good anti-infantry devices. Honestly, sometimes it's worth just bringing all 9. But then having the Fliegerfaust as well is a bit superfluous. But yeah, these, you just leave them somewhere, like, we saw they're on Urban Frontlines. Last time I played Urban Frontlines with 2nd Panzergren, I just put one of these down, and the enemy CV came up and it killed it, just shot all the infantry. They're absolutely ridiculously good, so I think they're really good. And then you can get rid of the Fliegerfaust. Against very, very good players, you might get helicopter bullied, but then you can move your Gepard round and the Gepard should kill it. So yeah, I'd be doing that. Helis, so either Hot 2 or Hot 1. I go for the Hot 2. And then air, so we've got the Tornado F3, right? And then, if you compare it to the Su-27 for the same price, it's not really very fair, but it is a nice plane. It's just not as good as anything unpacked. And, or anything comparable unpacked. Then this is your Helo Hunter. You use this at the start to kill enemy helicopters. Then this is your AT plane. So what you can do, so we've got 6 points here, right? So then you get the Seed and the HE2, right? And so the HE2, that kills the infantry, and the Seed, that keeps your other planes alive. Other things are you could bring the Harrier instead of the HE2. Harrier's better at the start of the game, right? Whichever one is better at the start of the game. This is better later on, because it's more survivable. But I prefer, 30% ECM. Get the Seed out first. HE2 behind it. Hit all those positions, So I think that's a much better investment than an M40. And, what was the other thing we got rid of? The Scimitar. So yeah, that's it for the deck yappage. Then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so with that out of the way, let's talk about Urban Frontlines. Both of these divs are decent on Urban Frontlines. It's just, it's urban. It's frontline. But basically, you want good infantry, which both divs have. And you want IFVs, which this div has and this div doesn't, Lamau. Having IFVs is great because it means you see the enemy infantry and then you kill it. And you just sort of blob the IFVs around, right? You hide behind here, get some recon in here, blob the IFVs around because there'll be conkers shooting at you and you just go dum 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 dum, right? If you don't have IFVs, you can still win, right? It's just hard. You've got to use your infantry and your tanks. And tanks aren't that great against infantry, and generally, I mean, it's great for the infantry, this map. But yeah, so it's nice to have autocannons so that you can kill the enemy infantry effectively. In terms of the matchup, I mean, 8th US really is just a bad version of 2nd Panzergren. Both of these divs have the same premise, and that is that they bring less tanks than their older brothers, that being 5th Panzer Division and 3rd Armoured, and instead they get more infantry, and so they're supposed to be better in this kind of environment than 5th Panzer and 3rd Armoured, and yeah, they both are. the thing is, right, so 2nd Panzergren does everything 8th US does, except it also has Marder 1A3 Milans and slightly better forward deployment. What it loses is that it's got no Hilo-borne infantry, which is like doesn't matter. But apart from that, a lot of their tools are the same artillery, the same heavy artillery, right? Um, Generally, the idea is the same, but 2nd Panzergren's just better at doing it. So that's sorry, I think there's somebody. I'll just edit this part out. So yeah, that's that. Looking at the deployments, so we've got Jeb with his 2nd Panzergren, and so he's opening quite aggressively on the left here. Try and get these forward buildings with an FS Jaeger, a Milan 2, and an FS Jaeger Aufklärer. Generally, you don't want to put them up both in the same building because the same artillery around will kill them both. So you could put the recon. Well, but it is a nice place to have recon, and it is a nice place to have an ATGM. What you could do if you've got 2 FS Jaeger here is get the recon guy up to here and then try and take this building, which clearly seems to be the plan. Scimitar behind that to shoot at people coming down here, I guess. Behind that, we've got Pioneer Carl Gustav at 2 vet. Spoke about this in the deck review, going to the same building. And a Leopard 1A1A1. So, big on this side. 1 Scimitar for the far left flank. Okay, so he's just going to go check out India. This is quite an exposed position. It's got good stealth, but if there was like something in here, you'd die. In mid, we've got an FS Jaeger, FS Milan 2. So this is looking down that road. Nice building, this one. Shoots all the way down there. Very useful. And a recon for the tall tower. Behind that, we've got a Unimog for some supply, a Fliegerfaust, Pioneer Flam, which we spoke about. That's not a good idea. Pioneer, the Hand Flam Patron. And then some Panzergrenadier with Marder 1A3 Milans. He does bring them at 2 vet. It's 3 here because the CV's up vetting it. And a CV. And then a Scimitar and a Lux. So his whole AA is 1 Fliegerfaust. So I hope he's open fighter, because the way you beat 2nd Panzergren is you open, like, Helo, like, some Helo to blow these up because there's no forward deployed AA. Or a plane or something. That's generally how you fight 2nd Panzergren. So generally the 2nd Panzergren plane knows that's going to happen and opens with that F-16 that we spoke about in the deck review. Switching to his opponent's deployment, we've got Pandapoots, and he's doing quite an aggressive 8th opener. 8th is generally just not an aggressive division at all. You basically have to play it really passively while you slowly... So basically the advantage 8th has, which I forgot to mention before, is that the M1A1 is a lot better than the Leopard 2A3. Obviously, tank people in the comments are going to start freaking out. But yeah, that's what I think, because I'm right. And we're talking about in-game, right? And so you want to play very slowly and then slowly build up like an unstoppable horde of M1A1s, which is kind of hard to do on this map, right? And there are other divs that just do that better, like 3rd Armoured. So, and 11th ACAV. But yeah, 8th US does have the ability to do helicopter deployments at the start with Rangers and stuff. So it can be, like, this is the division's advantage. So you could argue that you should play to your divisional advantage. But the divisional advantage is just kind of bad. Because look how thin the deployment is. Because the helicopter, they cost so much. The BLACKHAWK is 60 points. You can sell it, even though it's got guns on it, which is nice. But 60 points, it makes doing these very difficult. So it's 60, 120, 180, 240 just in transports. That's just the transport cost is 240 points. Which is approximately 1/6 of your opener, just under, right? So yeah, he's going for Alpha, which is cool if it works. And he's also putting this on India. I think he can afford to put this here, if it's with it being the Helo. I think he would get to here. We'll see. Then Mech Rifles Dragon for Charlie. And Mech Rifles Dragon for Charlie again. And then a CV for Golf Hotel India. Then we've got an LRS for this very popular spot here. So this is the equivalent of this side, where it gives you nice vision, basically. and an ITO in an M113A3. So we spoke about this. I think it should be in a car, really. If you want M113s, bring one of your mech rifles in a M113, right? Then mech rifles Dragon. So this is going to be a fight here, clearly. 2 scouts, one for here, one for here. And then the vehicles are being pathed. And an M60. So, we've also got an F-16 to protect the helo deployment. So let's cast the game, and we shall do so from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and it's time to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members-exclusive videos. At the highest tier, they also get their games cast at a rate of 1 per calendar month. So if you're feeling bad about your ad block, you could consider that. This is currently my sole source of income. I attempted to submit my PhD thesis today, and my supervisor blocked me from submitting it. So, that's a developing situation. Not sure what to do about that. They just keep telling me to change more and more things, and I've started disagreeing with them, but I'm wrong and they're right. Always. So it's like, but, I can't, I think what you're asking me to do is wrong. So I'm going to take a couple of weeks to think about it, I think, and see where that gets me. Anyway, so it looks like he did repath this building, and look how far he got. Could have even gone for this one, but, if this was a Lux, it'd be there. So yeah, I think that's all good. And he has made it to here, although he has been spotted by the enemy, so that's cool. That's a good usage of 8th US ability. What I would say is that, right, so if you're going to land these, you need to shift Q them. So click it, Y, hold shift, click on the ground, and then press Q, and then, click over here or whatever, or L for cell. Otherwise, they'll just stay on the ground. Now, if you have perfect micro, yeah, he's been a bit overwhelmed. Well, I mean, you want to be in the closest building, really, I think. Now he's just running across the field and getting shot. If you have perfect micro, and this landed next to somebody and tried to take off, I'm pretty sure they can't actually shoot their rocket launcher if you have that shift Q thing up. I've seen it happen where I've had a guy there, and the helo's landed, and then I've shift queued up so ITO on the left one there, and this will one-shot 6 armor. Whereas a TOW 2 would have one-shot that, but it's obviously more expensive. And I've not been able to hit it because it's just taken off in time. I don't know, it might have been because it was like low cohesion or something, so it aimed slower. In the meantime, so blue has a massive superiority in mid because red's over here, but red is over here. So that's successful. And so as long as red can sort of hold on here, I mean, he should fall back a bit because this guy's just going to die to that Marder 183 Milan. There's this... Oh, that's bad news, isn't it? Almost made it out there. Killed by the dead man. So generally, there's this kind of feeling that, like, well, I need to be here to fight. But if you're being hit by an autocannon, you should probably fall back immediately. Anyway, so the BLACKHAWK now can come check this out. So if he notices, he can actually get into Echo. So, mech rifles Dragon do beat the Panzergrenadier, but the Marder 1A3s here, like, he just needs to run these away. They're all just dying. In the meantime, so red has secured this, but hasn't actually taken Foxtrot, so he could... well, I'm not sure. I was going to say he could send this, but this is actually going to Echo, which is not a bad idea, actually, given that there's nobody there. And he could run all the way down this road, right? He's got these scouts, which he could just... The BLACKHAWK especially, you just run this over here and just see what's there. As for Jeb, he should really be reinforcing this. But he's not doing so, he's focusing more on mid. Air Cav troopers managed to get all the way over here, which is pretty impressive. And yeah, so if you've got the BLACKHAWK and you want to attack over here, what you do is you scout the road with the BLACKHAWK that the CV is coming down, so you at least know it's free. Right, and then like you'll know, like, that's what these are for, really. Once you've dropped off the troops, you can sell it, or you can sit around. And yeah, this guy should be in a building, right? He's taking unnecessary fire. Miniguns are just terrible now. They used to be really good, but last patch they just nerfed them, and I don't think it was in the patch notes. They just sort of made them bad, so not very good now. And yeah, it got fleagued. what can I say? So he's coming in this zone, but this should really have been sent to check it out. Like, he will get in, but he would have seen the CV at least and killed it, and then he'd know there's nobody here, and all this could be moving in, which is presumably... Yeah, so he wants to attack here, great. What you do is you get, like, this car, for example, and you just run it down there, and just see if it disappears, right? Or you can use this, because it can't be captured, it can just be destroyed, but it is slower. As it stands, on the left side, the scimitars and the luxes, two scimitars and one lux, they're closing in. They've got the optics. Rangers will engage. So Jebby could smoke this, right? He's got plenty of other things. Chooses not to. Rangers, there's nowhere for them to go, really. These guys, you can sort of smoke this and then run away. But yeah, he's getting stunned up and everything. Tornado IDSAT coming in for the M60. It will one-shot these. You need 17 armor to survive a 30 AP missile. So it does hit it. It's 50% accuracy. Mine never do that. Blimey. Good for him. Anyway, yeah, it's just a shame about this BLACKHAWK, really. Could have used that. Because now this is all being reinforced, right? And like, these guys unloaded here. They should have gone all the way in. Send this in, you know, just see what's there so that you know how much ground to take and how quickly you can take that ground. Ground is a resource, right? It's like points. So this guy, he's got the recoilless rifle. It fires at infantry and at vehicles. And he's got nice vets, so he might actually hit something. The main issue is... the pen's very low and the accuracy ain't great. Range is nice though, so he's going to use all his recoilless rifles on the. But I mean, this is just like Jeb just not paying attention here. I mean, why aren't these engaging? It's very strange. Anyway, F-16 comes in for not sure really, and yeah, so the Panzergrenadiers got in, and that was just lethargy basically on the attack. If he'd used the BLACKHAWK to scout it, he would have known, oh, there's nobody there, and he could have taken the whole thing. This guy, you know, these guys, they could all be in there by now. In mid, BLACKHAWK's being used to shoot people. Once it gets low, you just go sell it, and you'll get all your points back. You'll get 60 points back, so that's all good. So you'd expect this one to win. Because it's got a much higher accuracy, but it just depends who shoots first, who sees who first, because they can both kill each other in one hit, basically, because it's a big missile and there's not a lot of armor. So yeah, but big shame here for Panda, just getting pushed out here. He could have had it, really. And now he's probably not getting back in there now, unless he tries to cut the reinforcements or something. Yeah. So like this guy could be coming down here or something, you know, try and get him to here or there even, or even just here so you can see. I don't know. I feel like this was a wasted opportunity. Rangers leader went down, and now here comes a Leopard 2A3 to cap it. Bit of a mountain made out of that molehill by Jeb. I mean, he could have, like, these guys didn't have to take so much damage there. And now they're starting to buy the arty, which is fair enough. Supply here, but the Ihawk's out of rounds. And the BLACKHAWKs, they're just sort of staying there till they die, which is a big shame, because that's 120 points gone, right? He could have just sold them once they got low. Now he's sending in the next ones, so that's 180 points. This is... Okay, I was going to say, if he's going all the way over there, that's not great. And yeah, just queue up the orders, right? Queue up the move order. Otherwise, it'll just stay on the ground, and then a tank shell will kill it or whatever. So yeah, they are quite tanky, so once you've used them to drop off your guys, you can use them to shoot people for a bit and then sell them. Or you can use them to recon and take some damage and then sell them, and you get 100% of the cost back, so it's worth trying to use them for something. It's just if you're not paying attention, then you lose 60 points. So, do you see what I mean? So that, like, each one of those is another one of these, so he lost, because you might think, well, it's free. No. You've just lost 3 Mech Rifles Dragon. How much better would this be going for you if you had 3 Mech Rifles Dragon? How much better would it be going for you if you had one of these and something that costs 50 points? And the Mech Rifles Law, right? Imagine how much better this would be going. So, you know, I mean, obviously nobody plays a perfect game. But it's just something to keep in mind, right? A lot of it's just practice. You play more, you get better. Like, I mean, this, you know, mistakes have been made here. Clearly, when this was called in, all this probably hadn't happened yet, because it does take a while to get there. So, you know, at the start of the game, I was talking about how the Helo Heavy 8th is not a good idea. But, I don't know, it seems to be going quite well. He's used his momentum well. The issue with the Tow Cobra, of course, is that it doesn't have very many rockets. So it's already used them all. As for Jeb here, I mean, he's just basically refusing to resupply this. There's so many helicopters have come this way, you know. Like look, there's another one. It's a shame, really. Yeah, in the deck review I spoke about, you know, Helo infantry and how you basically only need one card. Basically just because there's only so many times you need to do a cool attack here and a cool attack here, so... I mean, 2 cards is fine, but he's brought 4, including the CV. Having the Helo CV is fair. Helo Infantry CV. Infantry CV and a Helo is fair enough. But yeah, I don't know, I'd say like two regular line infantry heli guys max. And then yeah, just some like micro mistakes, you know, just taking hits here because you're not in the building. Like, why do you want to go there anyway? Surely you want to go to here. But he will win because he's got more guys. Another BLACKHAWK goes down. So Jeb, he's bought the artillery, he has fired it. I'm not sure what he fired it at. And here we go, Leopard 2A3 showing up now. So the Tow Cobra is just out of range, I think. No, it is shooting it. Is that gonna... That will one-shot the side armor if he... I mean, that was just... No excuses for that. No excuses for that. I mean, what? Just smoke. Do anything. So yeah, not fantastic, really. The Rangers are falling back, which is good. You see he's trying to use the forest here so he can get over, so that's good. And yeah, just kind of... just lack of gameplay from Jeb. Too busy trying to win his election, right? I always think of, you know, that poster. It'll probably be the thumbnail for the video, where it's Jeb like this, over like a map of the USA, and it just says like 289 votes for Jeb. It's a very old meme. It's very low resolution. Very low resolution meme. But, yeah, what can I say? So the Tow Cobra just continues to kill everything here. You can also use the BLACKHAWK to scout, right? Because you can't... You can shoot these, but you can't see them. That's what that blue means. So you send the BLACKHAWK in, and then that will spot it, and then this sits back here and shoots the gun. The gun's pretty good, actually. It's just it runs out of ammo within a minute. Also, you know, if your IHawk shoots, which it hasn't actually done, then you need to move it. But it's just visible, so... So yeah, Jeb heavy on the RT, which honestly I think having one piece... No, I think it makes sense, actually, to have two of these out on Urban Frontlines at this point in the game. And yeah, it's even Stevens, because even though Jeb owns mid, he never fully secured the left side, so Pandapoot's still on the advantage. And then, you know, Jeb, he took this and he's not really pushed out. He's not tried to get that ground back. And yeah, Panda could try and get back up to here, right? Because, I mean, let's say you get to... Like, here's obviously great, because then you can shoot the guys coming in. But you do get RT'd, right? And then there's just, you know, lack of, like, what? Yeah. Is he gonna notice? It's just practice, really, and you can say, look, you know, is it worth... Don't land there. Please don't land there. Now the Milan 2 is gonna shoot that. So, yeah, it's like, is it worth spending so long playing Warno to become... World #1 Warno, right? For most people, I don't think it's worth it. For me, it is worth it because it's basically my lifeline. And I mean, yeah, just a bit of not paying attention there, just kind of losing units that you don't have to lose. Like, this should be resupplied. These should be moving after they shoot. 8th also gets... Yeah, okay, there it is. I was going to say, like, it might be worth him getting one so that he can hit all these buildings. And honestly, like, 1 second Panzergrenadier gets... look, see. Gets set up somewhere. It's kind of impossible to... I mean, it's very difficult to do anything about it. Because they can just flood it with people for the rest of the game. Having said that, your boy Jeb is losing because he's just not... okay, now he's trying to do something here. So, I mean, what? So don't get me wrong, having a unit with an AT here, it would be incredible. But these men do not have AT, so they can't actually do anything about this. But if that was like Mech Rifle's Dragon there, whoa, fantastic. Or Mech Rifle's Law here, so you can get the side shots. Whoa, incredible. But no, it's an engineer's squad, so a bit of a poor decision there. And here we go. So the RT, it is aiming for all this. It did get a very expensive supply, so that's kind of a big deal. And then yeah, you need to that's weird. Oh, he's put it. Okay, he's changed the thing to shoot something. I was gonna say, like, why is it? Because it's gonna shoot one round now. Yeah, and then it's gonna just stay there and reload in place. So that's what if you interrupt the volley, that's what happens. So it fires 3 in the salvo length. If you interrupt it after 2 and then give it a shoot and move order, it will fire 1 and then it will sit there and reload for a minute, and then it will fire 3 more and then it will move. So this could have been a very bad thing, but given how far away these guys are, they're just missing. So it's all's well that ends well, but look, it is doing that. So engineers here, you know, they can't do anything. I don't know, I think he should have just sent them all the way back, and put somebody else there. But now at least he knows there's nobody in here because of this, so he can try and, you know, send a BLACKHAWK. Send a BLACKHAWK. So this is still reloading because it's going to do the next thing, right? So F-16 coming for the tow cobra, and we'll probably get it. So when it gets stunned, it decides to stand up, because that's how that works. And yeah, so he's been firing a bit more at this, as we saw. F-16C is longer range than it should win, really. I mean, it should win. The short range missiles are better, and it's got longer range missiles, and it's got 10% more ECM. But RNG happening there. Anyway, so these are not dead, and this didn't take any damage because it all just missed, right? Because they're all so far away. Generally, I prefer to bring my RT closer so I can hurt the enemy more, but that does mean that the enemy can hurt your artillery more because, you know, that dispersion circle, it gets closer with distance. So over here, the grind continues, and yeah, these M40s really showing how useless they are. I mean, wouldn't you rather have an extra plane? Extra few planes, right? And yeah, I think overall, I think Panda's doing a much better job of cycling his guys. You'll notice, look, the low ones are falling back, whereas Jeb's, he's playing very aggressively here. And the question is, like, so this is where the zone is. So you'd have to get from here all the way to here. Well, why not? Because, you know, you're here already. I mean, he's just lost a bunch of guys. Set up in here. Okay, now you've got fire control over this entire zone, including the reinforcement road, in several places. Right, and then attack this. So BLACKHAWK's just sort of chilling out and not being sold, being met with bullets. So, you know, another 60 points, another 60 points, another Mech Rifle's Dragon, another Mech Rifle's Dragon. This man is very dead. The Lux is going to finish him off now. Down he goes. Very nice looking game. Do get people saying that Broken Arrow looks better. I'm convinced that they're just so monumentally incorrect. M1A1 first shot out gets engine damage crit. That's not really what you want to see, but there you go. And this should now move because it's going to get shot. And there you go. So he has come for this. Yeah, he needs some infantry here, really. And yeah, the M1A1 at the 2-vet M1A1 kind of struggling there. So this is kind of like, so the RT should be firing all the time, and okay, it has been. I think he's still going for these, maybe? I'm not sure, but yeah, generally the RT is for, you know, this building, which has had that Milad 2 in it for quite some time. Still got BLACKHAWKs just kind of hanging out. And yeah, the M1A1 going back to repair, presumably. M60's ready, right? And so, like, now you sell this one, because it's going to die on the next hit, so you sell it. As for Jeb, you know, he could really... Okay, he's got a second Fliegerfaust now. Yeah, so Jeb on the +1. And the 8th player... Okay. More helos. I mean, the fact of the matter is, there's, like, one Fliegerfaust there. And so... Yeah, why not? You're covered by the Hawk for when the plane comes, although you need some more ammo. These are a bit too close to each other. But generally, you would think he'd be trying to sort this out. But instead, he's sending... So the enemy CV's in here, which implies that there's infantry in there as well, right? And so he's just sending his CV into there. So once it gets to here, I think it'll actually go back up that road. Whereas, you know, wouldn't it be better to have it back here where you know it's safe? You know, this could be sold, right? That kind of thing. Another 45 points. Just those efficiencies, you know? Those efficiencies where it's just like, if you do all of these things, I mean, one thing in isolation doesn't really matter, but if you do all of these things, you just find that you've got way more units. So here we go, more hogs getting shot, and, you know, see, so they should know where the Fliegerfausts are, because they just shot him. So you would think arty time, and I think it is. I didn't see where it went. Oh yeah, it was going on the Milan too. Yeah, great. Good stuff. So, I don't know, I mean, Jeb, he had this, and he just kind of threw it all away. All he had to do was put some infantry in there. But yeah, he brings all his info, like, 2-vet, or a lot of it 2-vet, so I'm thinking that maybe he's starting to run out. Like, those Pioneer Carl Gustavs, he only got 3 of those, and now he doesn't have any... You know, I'm not seeing them. And here we go. So Jeb's moving on this side. So, really, Panda needs, you know, a unit in here. And this guy's alright for here. He will have to fall back eventually. But yeah, these two should be helping, right? Because otherwise the Rangers are going to win. Panzergrenadier, they've got the DMR, which is like 2 machine guns, basically. The DPS is about the same, but the suppression is more than twice as high as a machine gun, so that's big. And, yeah, I mean, it's the difference between, like, so people who just no-life this game all day, what they can do is push positions that don't have people in them very quickly, because they're, like, always probing the map. They're like an alien, right, in Kansas. They're finding the people when they're probing them. And so they can always, like, or at least very rapidly figure out, oh, I can actually attack here, there's nobody here. So, like look at this. I mean, it's just... So these guys, this should be getting healed, right? But this should be going first to make sure that this doesn't die. And so you send the Fox, right? And the Lux, you can get up to here, and then you can see down there, right? Recon helos, we know blue doesn't have recon helos. This is why you don't shoot from your reinforcement road, because I'm pretty sure this guy just got caught in the one that was meant for this guy, and then imagine if you had guys coming down here as well. Blue losing in mid, slowly being pushed back by the M1A1s. The M1A1s. As long as you can keep the M1A1s alive, you can continue to fight. I do like this. I think this is good, although it's a shame it's on fast move, because I mean, it could have killed that, but he's just gone past it. It's a shame, really. And yeah, so Jeb takes this back, which means he will be on a +1 soon. He's got another Iltis. This time he actually bothered bringing the infantry, which is good. And yeah, the M1A1 beats the Leopard 2A3. We're seeing that in real time. I mean, obviously there's M60s mixed in and all sorts, but you are seeing that. It's a pretty big difference. The Leopard 2A4C or whatever, like, is good against the M1A1, but this is the Leopard 2A3. So Iltis in, Panzergrenadier, not the infantry. I mean, you want this one really, but they're still there. So that's putting Jeb on a +2 now. But in the meantime, Panda's actually pushing mid, so he's making big plays here. Doesn't need to heal up his helos, right? Get his guys up here. Like, if he, you know, if he pushed, he could, like, get this up, take this, you know. This guy needs healing. So RT out. Okay. It's a weird place to RT. I mean, presumably that Marder 103 used to be there, but wouldn't it be nicer to come check this out and then... Okay, he's not healed this up. So the Marder 183 is going to kill it really quickly. And there it goes. So, you know, take the time to just heal it up, right? There's no point arriving first and just being dead, right? And he knows the Marder's there now because it killed his last one, so he should be running away, really. He's chosen to die in solidarity with his brother. But yeah, I assume he's just looking somewhere else. So yeah, this was cool. But looks like Jeb's taken this side. F-16, you would expect to lose the Tornado F-3. I mean, it costs a lot more. It's got more missiles and whatnot. IHawk really should be moving between shots, and Jeb really should be shooting the IHawk. I mean, it's just not gone anywhere. It's just been there the whole time. Oh no, he is moving it. Oh, okay, my bad. My bad. So, I'm not sure what Panda does in this situation. It's looking pretty dire for him. He's going on the arty. He might get it. I mean, there are two. It's just all about the RNG, right? Because artillery in this game is like, shouldn't that be damaging this just a little bit? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Just lands right next to him and does nothing. It's 203mm artillery round, but like, this is just literally a box. This is a truck full of ammo. I never realised how big these things are. Blimey, it's bigger than the artillery piece. Is that legit? Chat, is this real? Anyway, you'd think, you know, it'd go off like a firecracker, basically, but like they do in Broken Arrow. And the fob explodes, so that we know it's possible. Anyway, Jeb's winning. He's on that +4. Panda hasn't managed to capitalise on his success in mid. It's just taking him too long to do stuff, basically. And on the left, he's got some Rangers in here. So you'd expect the Rangers to be able to take this. I mean, they are special forces. They don't have DMRs, but DMRs have, like, a long minimum range. He's still trying to get the enemy arty. I don't know. I mean, I guess he's got corrected shot now, actually. So, you know, because of this. So maybe it makes sense. Having said that, he's missing, so... that's kind of weird. I guess he couldn't see it. So yeah, typically as soon as you see it, you want to stop, because if you get to the edge of the forest, you might get spotted. Which I think he has just been spotted, maybe. I don't know, I mean, it's weird that... Oh, he's about to get... Yeah, they know. They definitely know he's there. So, yeah, I don't know, I mean, as soon as you cap this, you must know that they know, and then you take off return fire, and you just zoom after this and try and kill it, but it's not actually capped it, which is pretty interesting. Even though it's right next to it. So, Rangers going in, another BLACKHAWK goes down. Rangers take out the CVs. And yeah, they do beat the Panzergrenadier. You'd expect them to, really. I mean, they cost 30 points more. It's almost twice as much. 35 versus 65. This is a dangerous road to cross with that Marder 183, but he doesn't see it, right? And they are... Okay, so it's in the right place now. Sort of. I mean, it's still kind of missing. I don't know. I mean, he knows where it is, so... Okay, gets some nice RNG, though. It seems to be landing over here. Oh, there you go. Wow, okay, great. And yeah, Jeb, really big on the arty. We spoke about this in the deck review. Generally, I mean, sniping enemy M110s is great. And if you've got the corrected shot, yeah, you should try and do that. So I think that was a great play from Panda. In the meantime, he is now losing. Mainly because, like, so basically he just didn't attack this fast enough, and now the enemy's built up there. He has managed to sort this out, but, like, so this guy's been on 1 HP for about 5 or 6 minutes now. And, you know, this guy could have been moved up. This guy could have been moved up. This guy could have been moved up. You know. Yeah, all the tanks are full. They should be firing. They should be going. They should be going. And, yeah, I mean, that was a direct hit there, but artillery strong. And yeah, these are M109s aren't as good as M110s because it's a lower number, right? The caliber's different. So that's a good hit. I mean, yeah, having two guys in the same building is not intelligent, and he's being punished for that. And yeah, I mean, if you're red, you really need to get something going. So yeah, you can come for mid, right? Where you've got a lot of guys, so that's a great idea. Or you can swing over here and sort this out. You've got this here, so you know exactly where the CV is, right? What? No, you don't. Never mind. I was going to say, why isn't this being arted? But yeah, you know there's not much here, so you can, you know, try and swing around the armor and get the infantry in and so on. Or you can push here, right? This is another zone. But if he takes this, he'll still be on a -1. So he needs to take this one as well, or neutralize it. So yeah, good arty there, taking out those buildings. They're not in sync, which means that this one's staying to fire, so that if they're counter batterying, they're going to aim for this one and hit this one, because this guy's still chilling out here. So just keep in mind that you want to be in sync. He's aiming for the completely wrong place there. I mean, that's not even where the building is. What? I don't know what to say. I suppose because of the dispersion, it's still hurting it. Smoke mortar spotted. Wow, that's cool. I suppose the point is to try and smoke off the toe too. I'm not sure that's possible actually, because it's in the high rise. I think the smoke falls to the bottom. It doesn't in Broken Arrow. So yeah, here come the bow powers. Bit of an overinvestment here. I mean, you see this a lot. Players who haven't played so much, they'll buy like 4 of one thing, and then they'll buy 4 of the next thing, and then they'll buy 4 of the next thing. And we're very much seeing that here. So, you know, don't do that. It depends. Like, if you're building up for a big attack and you've got time, then yeah, you can buy 4 of one thing and then you can buy 4 of another. But generally, it's better to buy them a bit at a time. Because yeah, I've had people say to me, well, in that game as 4th Armoured against Arex on 2nd UK Hippie, you bought 4 Terriers and then you bought 4 Centurions. But that's literally because I was just sat there and there was a big open field and I was like, well, I'm going to attack in 10 minutes. And so I was just buying stuff. But yeah, generally I should have bought them one at a time, because if the fight had happened before that, if he'd pushed me, then yes, I would have had a terrible army composition and I would have lost. So you know, they're not wrong to point that out. It is difficult, right, to practice what one preaches. I mean, that was on low cohesion, which is why it missed there. I mean, it's just, what can I say? It had 25% of 55% accuracy, which means it had like 12 point something percent accuracy. So for it to miss twice is not actually that surprising. Low cohesion is a really big deal. If your stuff's on low cohesion, you should usually just run it back, unless you really need it to be there for like, I need to spot this target for my plane kind of thing. It's on low cohesion, you should just get it back, because it's not doing anything. Unless, really, the role of it is just to run across the open field and get shot while all your stuff behind does the damage. And this is why you don't want 2 guys in one building, right? It's a great building to be in, but it's a very popular spot for artillery rounds. So, still +3 to Jeb. But Panda, he's got the M1A, the M1 base, sorry, M1A1 CV is just on 3rd Armoured, I think. I think 11th ACAV might get it as well. 2 F-16s coming out here. The IHawks are here, though. A-10 needs to turn into them, because, look, it's got armour on the front, and obviously it's got armour on the rear, but, I mean, that was a side shot, and, yeah, I mean, it also has the best plane gun in the game, and it's got 2 of the best NATO short-range missile. I think it's got the AIM-9M on it. It might be the Ligma. I think it's the Maverick or whatever. I think it's just M. M time. Yeah, so this could be sold another 60 points. These could be doing something. Just send them forwards and, you know, like there's 1 Fliegerfaust there. 2 of them, you'd spot targets, right? These guys can be moved up. It's all just practice, really. And yeah, I know I always say the same thing, but I mean it, right? Because I've seen people basically ruin their lives to become good at video games. And am I one of them? I mean, I make money off this. I enjoy it. I mean, that's the main thing, right? If you enjoy it. So he's trying to hide behind this, but he's not doing a great job. So he needs to be like round here, essentially. But he's running all the way away, which is fair enough. Is it worth it? You know, so I give people advice, and they can follow it if they want. But ultimately, if you play this game, you know, 16 hours a day, you're going to stop enjoying it. For most people, anyway. And two, there's probably something else you should be doing. So, Rangers need to fall back. Once again, it's like, oh, I've got HP, I can wait, right? Or you leave them there so you can move the M60 up and then get the M60 to kill that, and then get it to kill this, right? And then you're spotting those targets. But I think it's just basically he was just looking somewhere else. So, 5 minutes left, and Panda is going to get the -1. But yeah, he needs to come to sort this out, and like, I don't know. I mean, he's got all these helicopters, and you can use you can just send it. What's here? Nothing. Great. And you can even, what you do, right, is you bring the A-10 in, and then you use the 2 BLACKHAWKs to scout targets for the A-10. So then the A-10 comes and kills everybody because they're shooting the BLACKHAWK. Even though the BLACKHAWK's optics aren't great, you just literally fly it right over the enemy, and then kill, kill, kill. And then they'd all be dead, and then you could walk in. So, you know, these BLACKHAWKs, they do serve a purpose, and it's not just a bit of additional DPS. In the meantime, you know, this hasn't moved all game. This isn't moving. If somebody's doing this, the first thing you should do is hit the mortars. And it's weird. You see top players not do that either. M110s at that range, you only need 1 to kill a Milan 2. So yeah, you should be going for the mortars. This is not going to work. The minimum range on smoke is like 35 meters for a vehicle to shoot. No, hang on. The vision radius of smoke is 50 meters. Wow, okay. The vision radius on smoke is 50 meters. You can see 50 meters in smoke. The vehicle minimum range is 35 meters. And 1 meter in this game is like 1 pixel or something. It's crazy. And so the fact that that managed to actually hit that is really quite incredible. It was on the edge, so maybe, because look, you can see, right? That's 100. That round is 100, and it's half of that. So it's about 50. It's about 50. We always said to them, listen, you know, make it so that once you're in smoke, you can see really far in smoke. And so then once you get to the edge of this smoke, you can actually see this guy. And then the smoke still covers them. But they just never bothered to fix it. Apparently it's a much better idea to just brick your own game 3 months before the arrival of your biggest competitor. And then not fix it. So, sadly, the M1A1 does go down there. I mean, it was just kind of hanging out with no HP, so that does happen. This has still been forgotten about. And I'm getting the impression that Panda can't make it anymore. I just don't think he can. Like, if this had gone on another 10 minutes, I think he would have won. But yeah, never come in for this. Could have used the BLACKHAWKs. Once it's dropped its guy off, use it to scout. It's really good at that because it's got 10% ECM and 8 HP, and it can also shoot, like, you know, this thing has been sat there all game, and there was a BLACKHAWK here right at the start of the game, and I said you should send it in. If you sent it in, this would be dead, and this zone would have been taken. So there's just things like that. You know, it's easy to point out when you don't have to click, right? I get a lot of people in the videos who are like, "Oh, this guy was bad." Well, I mean, he's probably, you know, better than most players. Most players never even touch multiplayer. You know, he's probably better than you, unless you're a generous channel joiner, in which case, well, you're the best. So it looks like Jeb's going to take it, just like he took the election. I'll have to find that meme. So look at this, like the tanks, you know, the tanks are doing stuff. But yeah, basically, the dragon would shoot in the smoke, so he could have sent the dragon in. Well, it only had 1 HP. The thing you want to do is not run into your own artillery rounds, which, okay, just about. No, they're still shooting. No, they're still alive. Alright, skin of his teeth there. You want to aim for the mortar, which is now dead because a tank killed it. But look at this, like, he got in. It was just about speed. So there's a lot that goes into winning at this game. It's buying the right things at the right times, right? And then doing everything correctly, but also doing it really fast. So that's why I love the game, because there's always something to do, and it really takes my mind off, you know, the things I should be doing. So yeah, with 33 seconds left, looks like we'll see if this CV makes it. That'll be interesting. Oh, it might. Goes on the M1A1. The mutt is away. Oh no, the looks. Oh, down he goes. Right, well, it was a nice idea. But yeah, imagine if he tried something here. There's literally nothing there. I did like the Scout Humvee coming back here and getting the arty. I thought that was really cool. And, you know, the BLACKHAWKs, man. If you're going to bring lots of BLACKHAWKs, you got to use them. Like, it was cool that he dropped here. But yeah, GG. You know, I hope you enjoyed the game. I hope you learned something. So this is Jeb Bush, rank 1097. This is Pandapoots, rank 995. So very, very, very similar players. Pandapoots needs to watch more Hippie YouTube videos, I think. Well, everybody does, really. What? Interesting. So yeah, I mean, it was just like you know, some good, some bad. In general, 2nd Panzergren's the better division. It's just kind of easier to just spam Marder 1A3 Milans than it is to do basically anything else in this game. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you in the next one. GG.